They gave it to a blonde who showed up in a skin-tight leather catsuit. She's supposed to be a housewife.
Hey, Cordy, it's Aura. Just wanted. Oh, you would not believe what is going on.
You don't want to talk to her?
Oh, tell me, what's going on in Sunnydale?
Where I'm living and how the acting's going, and I'm just not up for leading the parade of pain. I'll do it when things are better.
You don't have to hide all the bad, mate. Come on. No, it's LA. It's all about appearances, I get it. You know, that world, that industry, but bit of a shame. You know, as well, I was going to say Cordy's a bit of a side character. She's not really. She's main cast. Like, I do kind of hope we see a bit of development from her over the course of this series. I mean, several series, many episodes. You know, I'm seeing stuff in her. We've seen in Buffy how she has immature tendencies in certain ways, mature tendencies in certain ways too, and we've seen growth, we have. But also this is still very, you know, she's still a kid, right? I kind of want to see her grow up a little bit. Quiet, huh? No work going. What are you reading, dude?
It's like wrestling a tiger just to get to know her.
What a pastime.
Well, I know she can't type or file. Till today, I had some hope regarding the phone. It's like the Soviet secret police if they cared a lot about shoes.
She was the richest one of all.
But she's doing all right.
You sure?
Ouch!
We got a Cordy-focused episode. Chocolate milk. It's definitely not. That's fair. Beautiful.
Hello? Hi.
I feel like you gotta take care of that yourself, dude.
Oh my god! Ah!
Yeah, fair.
Hello, Doyle.
Oh god. Alright, Mr. Spiky Face.
I have your money right over here.
Is this a punch to the face? Is it that kind of moment? Okay, that was close. Yeah. Okay then. The seed planted the, I think maybe not last episode, the one before, of all the money when he was making those phone calls wasn't nothing.
God, Angel, it's so
Gratuitous shirtless shot. We love it.
Look at me. I am such a mess. I am the lowest of the lowest. I'm gonna get my other suitcase out in the hall.
Buddy, you got up. Come on.
And I live there. I am.
Could you not get Doyle?
I tried to call Doyle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I never smell. I didn't know I could.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to stay here until I find a decent place.
Whoa, buddy.
Your couch, or let me have the bed.
Feel like we need to have a conversation. Like, breathe. Let him talk.
Suitcase is still out in the hall.
Go get it then.
You have Moose? Of course you do.
Alright, we need to leave this man alone about his hair, okay? Nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. Yeah, why do you owe people so much money then? What's your deal, Doyle, eh?
You ever get that feeling like you just can't shower enough?
Don't jump to conclusions, buddy.
You got peanut butter on the bed.
Really?
Relax, Doyle.
I'll look.
Wait, hang on. What? Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter.
And I was wearing her down, too.
Okay. Mate, you should not predicate any relationship on wearing someone down, I'm just saying. I mean, it does seem as if we're focusing a little on Doyle this episode, and I'm thinking about last Buffy episode, pleasure principle, everything going on there, and him and Cordelia. Little touches of that. I wonder if it'll go anywhere.
Cordelia stayed over because something's wrong with her place. I was on the sofa.
That's okay, I suppose.
Glad we got your permission, though.
I think you're gonna have to change the sheets.
I don't eat.
Listen, I was wondering if anybody called lately. Maybe asking about me or
Mate, share with the group.
Called with one of those names from your part of England?
my part of England.
Oh no, you can't be saying that to an Irishman. You took that well, mate, to be fair.
You got a bruise on your hand.
Well noticed, Sherlock.
A wet towel on my leather chair.
Alright, we're all as a group getting a little frustrated, bit of friction. This is good. We need to get through this to become a tighter team, you know. What are you doing, mate? You can't be cutting out another man's apartment.
See if you had hardwood floors under here, you know? I might be here a while.
I feel like there's better ways to find that out, mate.
Hey, your high school diploma's all burned.
It was a rough ceremony.
That's good, though, you can look back. I never look back.
Do you not, Doyle? I feel like that might be an issue. Why? What are you running from? I mean, obviously, clearly something, right? What brought you here? Is there something in that means that you have been given these visions? What's his origin? Okay.
You know, it's not nice to trick people. You gonna tell me what's going on?
Nice, yeah. It's not nice to trick people, but you're not being honest, buddy.
I do a favor for some guy, and the debt goes away. It's a system of checks and balances.
You could help me with mine, and maybe I can help you with yours.
find her an apartment.
That's your issue. Of course.
Can't tell anything from the hallway.
Hey, you're right.
Oh no.
You know what I smell in here?
Yeah.
Potential.
Is it potential or is it mold?
Community, you know? We share all the upkeep.
Your eyes are too starey, mate, and considering...
It's the first rule of the great leader. You can come to meetings if you want.
Who's that? What? No, many questions. Because not being funny, mate, I'm sat on that on a morning having a stinking poo because I'm going to level with you. I can clear a room. I feel like I should share less, actually. Point being, I bet he'd stare at you. Do you know what I mean? Eye contact, I'm talking. Got that look about him.
You can come to meetings if you want.
I am intrigued about what that's about. What do you believe in? You know what I mean?
Oh, you'll be up. The chanting starts at 4.
Beautiful. Ah, mate, now you've lost me. Early starts, can't do it.
Because I'm right across the hall and you can see
Whoa, let's move.
the other soul in the world with the key to that door. You think about that while you look, okay?
You got an itchy belly there. What's that about? That's not the biggest issue. That's fair.
What is it with you and Angel? You gotta do everything the hard way.
I do kind of miss this about shows nowadays, you know, with the format and how every show seems to have like, what, 7 to 10 episodes. Back in the day, they had seasons of 22, 23, 24, 20 episodes. You do have episodes like this where you just get to kind of experience, like, you know, live with the characters for a little bit. They get to be normal. You know, this seems like it's a little bit of a step back from like the monster of the week or whatever. It's kind of more focusing on Doyle, Cordelia, Angel, their circumstances, how they work as a team, all of this stuff. Kind of, you know, peppering little hints of Doyle and his origins, like makes you a bit intrigued about what's gone on with him. Why are you running from your past? What are you running from? It's a bit rough around the edges, you know, he's got this very much roguish background, it seems like, right? I know a guy. I help someone out, they help me out, etc. You know, arrayed against Cordelia and her privilege and this life that she had, which is the opposite of Doyle's. I mean, Doyle, I think, is how he is probably because he's less fortunate, right? Less privileged, had less money, so he has to live in the gritty, the real world. I say gritty, but I mean, yeah. And you just got to get by. And it's kind of arraying, at least to me, Cordelia and Doyle against each other that way. And Cordelia kind of struggling to come over that threshold of that, you know, from one world to the other. That's what we're kind of seeing. And I think that's why I found myself talking about Cordelia and kind of hoping that we see a bit of growth from her, because I think we were seeing early in this episode and as we coming through the episode, this struggle that she's having, that she's going through still, really, of, you know, going from the world that she had to this world now that she's in, pining to get back to that world, acting, you know, is that a way that she sees of getting there? But yeah, this kind of, these examples of societal hierarchies, how it affects a person and the struggle if, you know, you are used to something and then you're thrust or find yourself somewhere else. Doyle's the example of kind of living, breathing that, and Cordelia, I think, is trying to transition over to that and struggling.
Have you ever seen anything so beautiful?
Dear God.
Perfect.
How much? Like, what we got to do? Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with it?
It's quite a bargain.
You should look at him and ask what the catch is, mate.
I used to have this. I
guess it's your lucky day.
used to have those too.
Was it luck? Oh, is it privilege? Sounds like privilege, mate.
Hire someone to take out that wall.
My God. Doyle, you got an honesty problem. You need to be honest. What's this about?
Oh my gosh, I love my apartment.
Is it an apartment? It seems like a house. Beautiful. Okay. Is it alive? Is this the friend, Doyle? Oh, swift, dude. Nice.
My name's Angel. What's yours?
Polite. I like it.
Griff
Kind of polite.
never gave me his card.
Everyone's got cards, haven't they? Does it have a cute little angel on it?
You're a vampire. Come here helping some little demon half-breed.
It's a good offer. On the other hand, you're making me want to fight some more.
Pretending you don't have a soul.
You get lucky, you might last 10 minutes. Really lucky and you're unconscious for the last 5. Thanks. Good meeting.
Yeah, he does like putting on those masks, doesn't he? And it's interesting actually that we're, I'm talking about these societal lines. I mean, when you talk about the supernatural world, they exist too. An angel, we've seen him slip on different masks, depending on the situation. I'm thinking even just, and this wasn't really a supernatural thing. Well, kind of, because he was hunting was it a vampire? Lost guy. in episode 1. We open and he's drunk. He's pretending to be drunk, you know. He keeps slipping on these faces, and he slipped on a face there. He kind of slipped on Angelus a little bit. Not Angelus specifically, but pretending that he didn't have a soul, right? This guy's assuming. It's like, you're a vampire. Why are you helping him? Why would you do that? Angel using that to his advantage. I think Angel is an example of somebody who has learned where those lines are, learned how to kind of inhabit, to a certain extent, different roles to make sure he gets what he wants, right? He's a survivor. Lived for a very long time. It's interesting, isn't it? I think we've got, like, in these 3, we've got kind of different tiers of that, in the same way that I'm thinking back to that Buffy episode, and we had Harmony, Buffy, Anya. And they were these kind of 3 representations of women, all 3 of them used to demonstrate something. I think they're all 3 in this episode being used to demonstrate something too, in the sense of, we have Doyle at one end, he knows where he is, he's very entrenched in that. To his detriment, I don't think he's having a good time, he's not enjoying himself, he's struggling, he's got people coming after him, he's not thriving, right? Cordelia also not thriving particularly, but she isn't particularly firmly in any kind of positions, a station, for lack of a better word. She is, like I say, you know, flitting back and forth or trying to pretend like she's somewhere that she's not, and struggling with that too. Angel is this example of, he knows where he's at, he's consolidated, he's comfortable, and actually he recognizes these different environments, and he puts on masks to be able to deal with that, right? And I feel like Doyle's not quite effectively doing that. As much as he has almost a surety or security in the life and position that he has, he knows what he's doing, he's not thriving. And I think Angel is, and does, and gets out of it, and you know, he has the skills to back up that persona of the vampire too. And I talked about Doyle's honesty. That's what I'm talking about when I say, like, he is too firmly set in this mask that he has, in this world that he has, that it's to his detriment. You know, he's not acknowledging that contextually he's in a situation now where, like, someone like Angel is in the mix. He has a friend, and he can be honest. He can put on a mask or take off the mask, right? And actually open up, and he's not doing that. And sure, I'm not saying Angel's perfect either, right? He's not necessarily always honest or whatever. But it's just interesting. I think it's a kind of a discussion of that. And I'm seeing more of kind of that almost human aspect to this LA life, this LA theme to the show, in that it is, you know, we saw it in episode 1, and the lawyer and the CEO, and we're seeing, you know, the dynamics of the acting world and agents, and how superficial it is, and how Cordelia's struggling. She's talking at the beginning of the episode about, you know, this lady coming in the cat suit. They go into, for her, the implication being she was hired because she looked good, as opposed to being, you know, fit for the role or fit for the job or whatever. All of this superficiality, and it is just this kind of game almost, isn't it? And you've got to just be proficient at playing it. And I think someone like Angel is quite proficient at playing it, because he puts on these masks, he knows when to take them off. And I think, to be fair, I mean, you know, I'm saying all of this, I think he's the most proficient at it, but I think he's still got work to do too, right? But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. I think Cordelia needs to almost put on a mask of, like, my situation is this, I need to deal with it. And when I say put on a mask or take off a mask or whatever, I'm not saying that they're hiding something or it's necessarily superficial when they do that. I'm just saying it's more just maybe a bad way of saying fitting yourself to your environment. And I think in all 3 characters, we're getting the ways that they fit into their environment, how good they are at doing it. And I think you can kind of see a lot of where or how far or how much they need to go as characters at this point in the show based on all of that. Cordelia's got a way to go. Doyle's got a way to go. Angel, not so much, but I think his issues lie elsewhere. Right. And also, just interestingly, kind of go towards, I think, demonstrating this kind of, like I say, socio-economic lines and where they all fit in it. Haunted house, cool. All right. Make friends with a ghost.
Thanks, man. You probably saved my life.
Be honest.
Why do you live like this?
Well, why not live like this? I mean, what's wrong with it?
Why'd you live like this? Yeah. I mean, does Doyle have a choice? I don't know, maybe. I mean, probably. Everyone has a choice in a certain way. But Angel's trying to be honest and open him up a little bit.
I guess it's the kind of life that keeps your expectations from getting too high.
Okay.
I just don't know why that's important to you. This kind of life sort of picked me. You don't have to do it this way.
Don't worry about it, okay?
Sure.
And things aren't all gloom in Doyle City.
What happened?
I mean, there's bright spots, like Cordelia.
There's bright spots like Cordelia. Yeah, you've resigned yourself to being a certain level of happiness and never exceeding that. You're talking about expectations. Well, you know, you're making sure, you're assuring that you never have any happiness, pleasure, perhaps, you know, if we want to link it to Buffy. And I suppose it is that comparison, isn't it? In the Buffy episode, it was, you know, they're high school students and they're kind of living in this world that is a bit more, it's a bit safer, it's a bit more open to the opportunity to find pleasure, you know, in certain ways. And I think what we're seeing in this show is reflective of the show that they have, in that it's more adult, it's a bit mature, and that is kind of the adult world to a certain extent, right? I mean, your pleasure is, I feel like high school's kind of training wheels to a certain extent, and not to belittle it or be derogatory towards it, you know, it still absolutely has its real struggles, but when you're out of that and you're flung into the real world, no one's going to catch you, hold your hand necessarily. You just kind of have to be in that petri dish and do what you can, you know. And I think Doyle is an example of whatever trauma, whatever he's got going on with him, he has built it up in his head to the point that he can't ever let himself hope for better, because he's been disappointed, or that's been dashed too many times, and he's been hurt too many times, and now he just settles for the bare minimum because it's safer. And that's what that adult world perhaps has made of him. And it means that, you know, all of the stuff in Buffy, this kind of trying to manipulate all of your social skills to get what you want, Doyle is kind of a beaten down version of that. You know, he's not even necessarily doing that anymore, or at least he's reduced it to the point that he's almost trying to revert it back to that safer place of high school, of limiting his expectations so that he's not setting himself up for her, or reaching for that happiness, not getting it and being more disappointed for that, which it's a self-defeating prophecy, right? But I think to a certain extent, if you want to compare it to Buffy, it is him, like I say, trying to guard himself, put him back into that safe space, that safe place. And the example of his character is that he is struggling. He's not having a great time. He's not thriving. He has people out for him, looking to hurt him. And that is one of the realities of being out in that adult world and not being able to seek your pleasure in the way that perhaps you can when things are a little bit safer, a little bit more cultivated towards giving you that pleasure, that happiness, right? Bit of a commentary, I suppose, on you know, the adult world that we have, the difficulty, or, you know, the discrepancy in kind of graduating into the adult world in a certain way, and how brutal it can be, or how you have to adapt your social skills or your set of skills to be able to inhabit it in a way to seek and find and get your pleasure. I mean, I've been talking about Angel putting on these masks that I think are serving him better for getting what he wants, and I think he's just better at it, and I think he's the example of that. Doyle's not doing that, but he's clearly got trauma, and we need to pick this out. And again, sorry, I'm just talking about because I like this, I like it, and I like the subtle work they're actually doing in setting up the desire in me for and I don't know Doyle that well. I don't feel that connected, haven't felt that connected to his character. He's here and that's fine. And watching episode 1, I was like, I'm sure that we'll get to a place where I do care about him. This episode actually is doing a lot of the work to get me there, because I want him to get better. I want his character to progress. I want him to learn. I want him to thrive more, you know, in the same way that I do want it for Angel and Cordelia too. But I think, you know, this episode is focused on him and demonstrating he's also, as well as Angel, has got a lot of work to do, as well as Cordelia, to finding his own happiness, right? He's settling for less and he's consigning himself to that willingly, because he's scared, in the same way Buffy was, to put herself out there because she got hurt.
I knew this was too good to be true. I just knew it.
Cordy, mate, just have a conversation. Do you know what I mean? You gotta make this work. This is a nice place. It's a roommate. That's how you gotta think of it.
Bright, shiny morning. Nothing bad here.
Get some coffee in you, mate. You'll be alright. Beautiful. Hi, mate. Hello. Yeah, cool. Nice. Didn't notice. Perfect. You does need a bit of sun, though. Do you know what I mean? Get some sun cream. We can help each other out. Hey, into a bit of light bondage, that's fine. We can make it work, Cordy.
Woo! Cold wind!
Free aircon. This is all good.
Cactus. The housewarming present.
How did you get here, mate? It is very sunny.
Got it. Hey, thanks for the cactus.
Can't believe you can afford this.
Well, buddy, tell them. Slap it. You got to assert authority, mate.
That thing's been doing that all morning.
Is this how badly you want a nice place, Cordy? That is unfortunate, though. Maybe she just can't spell and she's just trying to, you know what I mean, dye your hair. I don't know.
It's rate control.
Cordy, it says die!
Yeah.
Maybe it's not done yet. Maybe it's diet. That's
You don't know.
a little judgmental, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe run out of blood. Give her some more.
Need it.
You don't need this, it's just a place. You're more than that.
How? How am I more than that?
Yes. Value.
Cleanse it.
Come on. Okay. We need to have a conversation.
I'll die before I give up this apartment.
No.
All right, dear.
See, she can talk. We need to... Okay. Cafe! Nice, Cordy.
And if it goes away, it's like
Like what?
like I'm still getting punished.
Punished? For what?
That's not good, mate.
No, for how I was.
Yeah.
Everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it. And then it all ended and I had to pay.
You gotta let that go, mate.
But this apartment, punishment over. Like, I couldn't be that awful if I get to have a place like that.
Oh, you need to stop looking at signs, mate. Oh, bless her. She's young, but you can't change the past. All you can do is move forward and be better, dude. That's how you work for redemption, not punishing yourself. And I wonder, I feel as if Doyle is maybe in some elements of the same place as these two are, right? That are we all looking for redemption?
Working for redemption.
I meant because you used to have that mansion.
That's not an easy spell. And bile. We need bile. I don't know if we can get everything.
Great.
Does the spells all the time. I can get the stuff from him.
Is this the same guy that helped me find my poltergeist delicious apartment?
Which you love, by the way. Yeah, and it's kind of demonstrating how, you know, these socioeconomic lines, our relationship with them, our relationship with our place in society affects us. How we are a product of our environment and how it warps us. Cordelia is the proof of that, right? You know, in high school, she was how she was. She is not self-aware. That conversation, she clearly recognizes that she wasn't a nice person. And yeah, okay, she's got a bit of a way to go. She's trying to enable herself to get that back to that place, or at least have the world or some higher power tell her it was okay and she's okay to do that and be that, right? But it's just because I think she had that comfort and happiness in that world. And what she's truly seeking is comfort and happiness, right? And that's what we're all seeking, comfort and happiness. And she has trained it into herself, or had it trained into herself because of her upbringing, to recognize and know that the privilege that came with her upbringing in high school and everything was easy and comfortable and gave her happiness. And because of her experience of that and having no comfort or happiness elsewhere, of course she's going to want to seek that, right? Or a return to that world. So I don't think, I think she's talking about, she wants to get back to that so that the world or the higher power is telling her it's okay. What she's actually truly seeking, and I don't think she quite realizes it, is comfort and happiness, and she doesn't quite have the tools to know and work out that she can find that elsewhere. She just needs to adapt. Right, and that's what I've been talking about all episode, and I think what we're seeing and what we've seen in Angel and Doyle and being unable to adapt, and it's not making him happy either. Like I say, how these socioeconomic lines do affect us, how to truly, I think, inhabit the world, society in the way that we possibly can, in the most comfortable, happiest way that we individually possibly can. And it looks different for everybody, we're all different, is being aware of that and being able to adapt. And that's, to a certain extent, simplistic too, right? I think there's a certain element of privilege involved in finding comfort and happiness today too. But I think the point still stands.
How come Patrick Swayze is never dead when you need him?
Ugh, ouch. Oh no.
Meet me at the apartment and we'll figure out what to do.
Uh-oh. Was that the ghost?
Celia, I'm in the bedroom.
Calling? Yep. No trust, mate. Well.
You got my call.
Okay, let's sit down. No, alright. I do still think we can have a sit down with this lady.
You just don't fit in around here, do you?
Don't fit in.
You wouldn't leave my son alone.
Jeez.
Well, see, the thing about detectives is they have resumes.
You gotta start somewhere, dude.
You got me. I'm a pope.
Maud Pearson, there was an investigation into the death.
Not all as it seems. Oh.
But it seems like there were problems with the son. His fiance. Mom didn't like her.
Oh.
There haven't been any deaths at the same apartment since then. And not murders.
Damn. I like this little relationship they've got. Slow burn. I like it.
Angel Investigations, we hope you're helpless.
That's not me.
Let's go.
You don't deserve to live here. You don't deserve.
Cordy, don't let it get to you. Oh, mate, we need to work on your sense of value, don't we?
Everyone would be glad if you were dead.
No.
Mate, heavy themes, eh, in this show?
We can stop her.
No one can stop her.
Yeah, this sense of value that we have in each other, in ourselves.
You're playing a role in her delusion that gives you power. You're the one who can stop her.
You're the one who can stop. You have strength, Goody. Yeah, you need to find it. Come on, mate.
They don't care about you. They want you to fail.
The ghost really very much is this personification of Cordelia's inner insecurities. One of these things, you know, that she's saying, I think, are things that Cordelia's been saying to herself, and this ghost is just really driving them home. I think it's why it's proving to be so effective. Yeah, okay, sure, like she's making her part of the delusion. Maybe there's some ghosty stuff going on. I don't think so, though. I think it is just that she is driving that proverbial dagger deep into Cordelia, and it's striking home because, yeah, it's everything she's been saying to herself, and she needs to, you know, she has these two on her shoulder, literal angel. Oh, not a literal angel, but you get what I'm saying. The personification of the angel, the good, saying you are worth something, stand up, fight, you know, strike at it. And then she's on the other side being like, you're worthless, you have no value. And it very much is. It's Cordelia and her inner struggle, her battle, yeah, fighting for redemption or value in herself.
You can stop all this. Do it.
You can stop all this, do it. And he's right, he is right. We all have the power to stop all this, you know, because we do control ourselves. And as bad as it might get, and it can get bad, but you gotta take little baby steps, mate. Day by day, do everything you possibly can. And suddenly it's been months and you've been doing it every day, and suddenly you feel like you're worth something. You know, it takes work, lots of work, it does. It does, and it's hard. And the society that we have does not make it easy. It works against us. But Angel is right. A line here, sorry. Are you going to let her do this to you? And it's almost that thing of, are you going to let you do that to yourself? Or are you going to move forward and try to seek your own happiness? We all want happiness, right? We're all looking for it, even if we don't realize or know. And sometimes we do drive ourselves or have been driven by outside forces or other people or whatever it might be into these places where we are just depressed or sad or where that happiness seems so impossible to reach because you are so down low. Even if they're not talking about it, Cordy, Doyle, Angel, they are in those places to a certain extent. And I think you have to start peeling back that layer of the darkness, the walls, that depression, that sadness, whatever it is, keeping you from that light, from that happiness, you know, or until you can at least to dissolve that, to even get the chance at striving for it. And I think that's what we're seeing with Doyle almost as well, in that, like, he's talking about expectations. He can't even strive for his happiness because he's put up so many walls. He's made his home in that sphere that stifles the potential to try and keep himself safer, and that too is a way that he's keeping himself from happiness. But Angel's right, we do have the power to disentangle that. I really like the episode for that message, for that journey, that fight, and demonstrating it. Whoa, guys, not the time. Beautiful. Miss Ghost, if you can help out, that would be quite nice. Yeah, fair. Chaos, I'll have it. Let's go.
I'm surprised that my son didn't smell the stench of poverty and failure on you.
Oh, you judgy bitch.
You stupid little bitch.
No, we got a reverse Uno card, that, mate.
I'm a bitch.
Hello.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry.
Cordy.
Cry, Buffy.
Okay. Buffy catching strays. What's going on?
Wrinkly, translucent. Out of this place, because lady, the bitch is back.
Yeah, fight it. Nah. Nice.
Get the hell out of my house!
Hey, nice. Yeah, we gotta deal with... Whoa. Alright, deal with this was what I was gonna say. Angel's ahead of me, fair enough. Cool.
Well, maybe you found her center.
Okay. Did she kill her son? Is there son in the wall? Okay. Okay.
What you're making me do, Dennis?
Hey, we all need projects, man.
Are you gonna marry that streetwalker now?
God.
Don't do this, please.
Wow.
Hurts me more than it hurts you.
Does it? Slightly terrifying. Well, that's a bit messed up, innit? Yeah, look at that. I mean, her as an example, purposefully stifling the happiness of her son, locking him in a wall, sealing him up, keeping him from his happiness, and going so far as to keep him from life. God, all of these examples of people being kept from their happiness. I mean, it's a little different with this, situation. That's not necessarily an inner battle in yourself. That is very messed up, mum. Yeah, mate, take your power, Dennis. It's all about finding your... Well, and I think, these characters, there is something to be said for them all kind of seeking their happiness, seeking their pleasure, and I think in that sense it's a very adult way of keeping in theme with the last Buffy episode too. The ego, the superego, the pleasure principle. How in the adult world we all get so tied up in certain things and how much more difficult that can be. How much more you have to perhaps flex all of your social capabilities to try to reach that. And these are, examples of people going for that and being stifled and hitting walls and getting knocked down and having to get back up to keep going. And the fight of that in the adult world, the fight that comes along with the pleasure principle in the adult world in a way that I don't think you quite find in the high school world. In the high school episode when we were dealing with that. I think both shows going very well towards demonstrating the differentiations between those worlds. Tidy episode.
Sooner or later, I'm going to need to hear it. Story of your life.
What it is, yeah. Nice.
And quite a tale it is, too.
Yeah. Being a good friend, mate. Trying to help him. No pressure, but someday you're going to have to tell me, man.
I will.
I like this.
Give me time.
Nice. Fair.
Can't believe I've missed your calls.
Nice. That's a great step in embracing the things that she associates with negative, bad, and struggling, and not wanting to give off that image. Taking that call and risking that, I think is a big step for her.
Celebrities are practically on top of me. Oh!
Okay.
Dave Paymer's brother lives right down the hall.
Okay. Well, a small step. Baby steps.
Hey, Phantom Dennis. Put that back.
Nice, see? This is what I mean, man. Relationships with the ghost. Slightly different ghost fare, but...
Thanks. Well, she never did have any taste.
Baby steps. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine, I don't know. I never really know. Sometimes it takes me by surprise, but this feels like an episode that a lot of people aren't that into. Or it feels like a bit of a dud episode. I can see why people might think that way. I don't know, maybe people love it, but I get the impression people don't like it that much because there's not... I do think a lot of the stuff that was going on in the episode, it wasn't groundbreaking. There's almost nothing happening in a certain way. Well, I say that, like, there is a lot happening. There absolutely is, and I really value the episode for that. It was by no means the flashiest, the kind of the most gripping, exciting episode, right? I really like it for the subtle undertones of what I think it was going for, the seeds of planted and dealt with slightly in mental health, finding that sense of inner value, how hard that can be. And just going to show us where Cordy is, where Doyle is, a little hint at, his origins, where he's coming from. Same with Angel, this socioeconomic line, how it affects us. And I think this episode did a lot in regard to all of that, and I appreciate it for that. Was it the best episode in itself, isolated? No. But I enjoyed it, and I think the ghost really represented some of that too. Nice little twist at the end with the whole walling up the sun. I think this show seems, I've said it pretty much every episode, but more mature, more adult. I know people have been saying it too. I'm just repeating at this point, but I do appreciate it for that, and I think it does. Not that you need one, but it is a bit of a palate cleanser, or a bit of a shock in certain ways when you go from Buffy to this, and how different it feels in certain ways while also being similar. And I think it's really nice, actually, that both shows do feel distinct. I wouldn't want them to both to feel the same. And I really enjoy, and I really kind of appreciate what they're doing with both shows, and how they are using the scope and the place that they've established in Angel to take those themes and do more than they do and can do in Buffy that perhaps wouldn't be appropriate, right? Yeah, it's really cool. That was Room with a View. Thank you so much for watching. There are some links down in the description below if you want early access to any of my videos. I do also have my gaming channel down there. I'm doing Alien Isolation at the moment. If you want to see me scared by a little old alien, it's not little, it's very big. It's a big alien. It's got a big tail. I'm not sure if it's its penis or not. We're not sure. It's beside the point. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, leave a comment, all that stuff. But thank you so much for my patrons, my YouTube members. Genuinely just thank you for your support. I hope you're having a great weekend. That was Slayer Saturdays, and I hope the rest of your weekend is joyful and great and full of good times, mate. But that's it for this video. Thank you once more for watching, and I'll see you soon.